Hi, I'm Chef Erin Roth, and welcome to Mrs. Joe's Petite East Patisserie and Cafe here in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. Today I'm going to teach you how to make our turtle brownies. Now the first part of this is how I do it. I toast my pecans. I don't do it in the oven. I do it on the stovetop, and I do it with butter. So I melt my butter first, and then I add my pecans to the skillet, and I just let it heat up, and you can smell the pecans as they're toasting. You don't want them to burn, but you just want to keep shaking them, stirring them. You can use a spatula. I just flip them with my hand, and it's a lovely smell, and you can never have too much butter. So this is how I toast my pecans. And one thing too that I add to anything that has chocolate, I add espresso or coffee. So this is where we're going to add espresso. So the first thing is I've already mixed all my dry ingredients together. I use cocoa powder and I use chocolate chips in the batter. Now the cocoa powder you have to sift so you don't get lumps. So this is why I said, why is it? So I have cocoa powder. That's why it looks like that. And what I like about brownies is you pretty much dump everything in there and you mix it. So we're going to follow with the egg first. There's only one egg. Again, a brownie is just a cake that hasn't reached its full potential. We go ahead and add the oil. Then I go ahead and add my coffee. Actually, this is espresso. I added my espresso, coffee. So all I'm doing at this point is mixing. Turn it on. Just mix. And you just mix until you don't see any more powder. Doesn't take long. Doesn't take long. See how beautiful and glossy it is? You see the lumps? Those are my chocolate chips. Some people like to melt chocolate and then add it to it. I like to, because I have cocoa powder, I like to leave the chocolate chips in there because they'll melt as they bake and you get a different texture. So I like that, particularly with turtle brownies. So at this point, alrighty, we are almost there. So I'm just shaking the excess off before I pour it into. Now, what I like for this, some people just, when they do turtle brownies, they just put the caramel on top. But I like the caramel in the middle. I like it when you cut it, you can see the layers. So we're doing this a little differently. So what we're going to do first is put half of the mixture already into a prepared, this is an 8x8. It's parchment paper sprayed with cooking spray. So I'm going to just place half of that in here. And just let it spread to the ends, to the edges. And this is what it looks like. So we're going to bake this for about 10 minutes. And then we'll bring it back and then we'll add the caramel and the pecans. And then finish it off. Be back in a few seconds. Okay, now we have taken the brownie, the bottom part of the brownie out of the oven. Now we have the bottom part of our brownie baked. Not completely, but enough to set. So all we're going to do now is place our toasted and butter pecans. We're going to put a layer there. And then we're going to pour the caramel on top. It's ooey gooey goodness. Alrighty. Now all we're going to do is pour the remaining brownie batter on top. Just want to get all the brownie batter off. Alrighty. Now all we're going to do is just smooth the brownie batter to the end. And all the brownie is going to do is going to bake up. Just going to push it, make sure it's smooth. And then we're going to top it with some more chocolate. It can never be too much chocolate. It's going to pour enough. And then we're going to pour the remaining toasted pecans on top. Just going to spread them around. Get all of that off because we don't leave anything on the table. And then we're going to just sprinkle a little more caramel. And then we're going to bake this until it's almost set because you do not overbake brownies. It doesn't take much to bake them to the point that they're dry. So as soon as it starts to set, you take it out because you have what we call carryover cooking. The brownie is still hot and it will continue to cook when you take it out the oven. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and then once it finishes, we'll come back and unmold and cut. See you back shortly. So we have the brownies out of the oven, and it's extremely hot. So it's going to take about at least an hour for it to cool because of the temperature of the caramel, which is like hot sugar. You don't want to touch it. So just let it cool so you can slice it. At this point, just put it on a cooling rack, let it come to room temp, and then you can put it in the refrigerator and cut it the next day. So whatever is easiest for you, but this is what it looks like. And once you cut into it, you see the layers of the caramel, the toasted pecans, the chocolate chips. It's going to be nice and fudgy. It's going to be a great dessert. So I hope you enjoy it.